Hello everyone. Initially, we'd like to say a big thank you for purchasing our couples expense tracker. We're a small business that prides ourselves on creating simple but effective Google Sheet financial planners, and your purchase enables us to improve and continue creating. So to begin with, I'd like to show you some of the key features that are going to help you track your finances. The first step is to fill in the setup page. So you need to fill in the currency, the person 1 and the person 2. So I'm based in the United Kingdom, so I'm going to leave that as pound sterling, but do feel free to change that to whatever currency suits you. The next step is to fill in person 1 and person 2, so I'll use the name John and Jane here. Once you've filled in the currencies and the person 1 and 2, you then need to move on to the income and the expense categories. So I'm going to put in job for person 1 as John and a monthly goal of 2,500. Job for person 2 of Jane and a monthly goal of 2,600. You can then put in additional incomes as well. So say you have an eBay store, or if you've got any other income, you can also add that here. The next step is to fill in the expense categories for both John and Jane. So for John, I'm gonna start by putting in gym and then health as the main category, and put a monthly budget of £35. I'm then going to put in phone, and I'm going to leave that as the main category as phone as well, with a monthly budget of £10. I'm now going to proceed and go ahead and fill in the rest of these for John and Jane. As you can see, I've now filled in all of John's expense categories and all of Jane's expense categories. So there's a bit of a variation of different categories here, varying from the gym, the rent, Amazon shopping, to fuel, books, makeup, haircuts, supplements, amongst other things. The next step is to look at the transaction log and start putting in monthly and sort of daily transactions. So the purpose of the transaction log page is where you'll input transactions that take place over the course of a month and over the course of the year, if you intend to track your finances like that. So on the 1st of May 2024, I'm going to put an initial income of £2,457 as an income. So there's a drop down here where you just select income, and then for the person, I'm going to initially select John. And that's from the category job. Also on the 1st of May 2024, I'm going to put another income transaction of £2,600 as an income from Jane, and again that was from the job. The next transaction I'm going to put in on the 2nd of May 2024 is a £10 expense. And that was Jane's expense. And then as you can see, we've now got a drop down here which is relevant to Jane's expense categories, and that was a £10 transaction on Disney. On the 3rd of May 2024, there was another transaction, another expense by John this time, but this was on fuel. And as you can see, as I'm inputting these are all automatically populating the main category. John, in this instance, wanted to split the fuel with Jane. So he would just need to select this split button, and then we've got a default of 50% split. So that's £25 for John and £25 for Jane. If you don't want to split it perfectly 50-50, that's completely fine, and you could go in and amend this to say 60% split on person 1, and John is person 1, so John would be paying 60% here and Jane just 40%. I'm now going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the transaction log for a specific month. As you can see, I've now gone ahead and finished populating the transaction log for the course of the month May. The next thing to look at is the partner dashboard. So the next step here is to fill in the start date and the end date. So I'm going to put in the 1st of May 2024 and the 31st of May 2024. There's also a drop down here which enables us to choose John, Jane, split or all. But as you can see, now that I've filled in the 1st of May 2024 and 31st of May, the whole spreadsheet has been populated. We've got a first table here on the left which is showing all of John's expenses and transactions throughout the course of a month, and then we're also seeing those aggregated and populated here. In this little drop down here, you can flick between the category and the main category, and that changes the charts, these two charts on the right hand side. Along the top, we've got a remaining balance over time chart, so that shows how John's balance is trending downwards as he's spending his money throughout the month. We've got a total outgoing, so out of that 2,457, £1,607 of that was spent, and that's 65% of his income, with £850.59 remaining. We can then flick to Jane and also see those same things, so we can see that Jane has spent 68.23% of her income in this particular month. We can then flick to split, and this is showing those transactions on the transaction log that was split between the two individuals, and that's just a bit of an overview of how those transactions are being split and where those split transactions are being spent. And then lastly, we've got a all category, and that's showing a sort of sum of all of the above, so it's showing all of John's and all of Jane's transactions throughout the month and how that money's being spent. So this tool is useful if you're wanting to understand how long it's going to take you to reach a specific financial goal and how long that's going to take depending on how much you budget to save each month. So in this example, I'm going to put a starting month of May 2024 and then a goal month of May 2026. I use pound sterling, so I'm going to leave that as pounds, but feel free to change that to whatever currency is comfortable for you. I'm going to put a starting amount of £150, a monthly saving amount of £200, and a saving goal of £4,000. So say you've got a specific financial goal in mind that you want to work towards, this tool kind of supports you in working out how long it's going to take you to get there. So in the savings forecast here, we can see that we reach £4,000 in December 2025. But, you know, let's say that in the sort of what if forecast, if we were to save an additional 20% each month, so an extra £40 each month, how long is it going to take us to get there under this sort of budgeting? And we can see that we reached that goal in September 2025. We can then also see in the chart along the right hand side, you know, how that sort of trends over time. And then we can see in the scorecards that for the standard forecast, we reach the goal in December 2025. For the what if forecast, we reach it in September 2025. So this is a great way just to understand and almost predict and forecast your savings over an extended period of time. But all in all, that's the Couples Expense Tracker in a nutshell. I'd like to conclude by saying thank you once again for your support. In addition to this video, we've got a comprehensive README page which provides written instructions if you need to quickly revisit. But if you have any further issues, please do feel free to contact us directly on Etsy.